Gosh.
So, welcome to our ninth session on prosperity. Put prosperity energy into your chakras. So, today's topic is going to be remodeling. What exactly is business remodeling? Now, we are all familiar with remodeling of our homes, right? If you need to renovate, then we remodel our homes. So, what is business remodeling? It basically involves removing some parts and putting in some other parts. Why do we need remodeling? Just like when time changes, even the government changes its policies, right? Just like you lived in a house for very long, and then after some point you need some renovation. Similarly, when there are laws in a country which have become really old, then those laws need to be changed. That is also a form of remodeling the laws. So it's basically a way of you know taking something and then making it a little different. Now, in the Hindu mythology, for example, we have three gods, Shiva, Vishnu, and Shiva, Vishnu, and Brahma. So Shivji, for example, is what we call the Lord of, we call him the destroyer in some ways because he's the one who destroys things. But what the other aspect that Master Cho kind of introduced us to was also that he's the recreator. So Lord Shiva is the one who helps us to break down things and then to create them new. Okay, so he's not just the destroyer, he's actually also the restorer. Okay, so let's talk about that. So why is this relevant to us in the form of business? Right now, we know that people are going through times in COVID, normal business processes are a little compromised. Different things need to be done or different ways need to be worked on. So for example, there was this one person in my BNI chapter, for example, and they were having issues with delivering things, or they didn't know how to deliver things. They had a retail model, they had a shop, but it wasn't online. So what this person did is that he put his products online, which is something he hadn't done. It's a brick and mortar shop of clothing. And then what he did is that he started using the services of another BNI member who was basically in the delivery service business. Okay. So these are ways in which people are what we call remodeling. People who would make deliveries with all day long started moving their deliveries to certain times of the day when delivery was allowed. So these are simple remodelings. Obviously this is it may seem obvious to you, but sometimes there are people who need help with this stuff. So when we do business healing, these are also the kind of guidances that we try to provide. Okay, so why do we not change? Why do we not remodel? So there are some people who we approached, and they basically said, no, this is not something that people are going to buy online. Do you remember the time, like maybe what, 7, 10 years ago, when Amazon started as a book, as basically a book delivery service, and people were like, "Who's going to buy like clothes online?" Today, I think a lot of us are buying clothes online. That's also a form of business remodeling. Not only are there platforms, but even regular stores are now going online because they need that model. So that's all examples of business remodeling. So what we're going to do now is we're going to think about our own business, think of things that we can do to change and remodel our own business. Do we need to take it online? Do we need to put in systems? Do we need to put in ERPs? It's not always just electronic. Just to give you an example, sometimes it's also just making small changes physically, because let's say, for example, people are working from home. Now if you are a business owner, then it's perhaps a good idea to actually check into your employees and just ask them to sometimes do a screen share with you on what they're working on. Ask them if they're having any difficulty. Of course, it's not just from a monitoring point of view, it's also from a helping point of view. Because when we're in the office, someone can just walk into your office and be like, hey, can you help me with this? Not necessarily employees, also your colleagues. And you can just, over Zoom, you can do a screen share. There are many ways of helping. Okay. Now, sometimes we don't want to change because we are holding on to the past. And we think that this model can only be used in this particular way, which is not always true. Because if we try to innovate, that's what innovation is, right? Finding like new applications for things. Now, why do people not want to change? Sometimes it's because of the fear of losing what we do have. So let's say we have something, and when we think that if we remodel, then we lose what we have, and that's a big concern for a lot of people. The other thing that is there is fear of losing one's main source of income. So let's say if we remodel the business, we may lose our main source of income. So these are things that people don't like. It's like it's a process in marketing, and in business. It's a process called cannibalization, which basically means that if I introduce another product, which is not exactly better, but different from my current product, which may be my bread and butter. So when I introduce another product, will my customers get diverted to that particular product, the new product, and will the original product not get as much business? So that's called cannibalization, in business. It basically means, one product is kind of eating up the resources or the revenues that another product could get. Now, there's also the tendencies of, let's say, laziness and procrastination to not make changes. So, for example, when we do pranic healing, we have something called free healing camps where we basically invite people to the center. People come in and we do healing for them. Now, we've been toying with this idea for a long time. And now, what we're going to do is we're going to do online healing, which basically means that each potential, each client is going to be with a particular healer in a breakout room with their healer, and we're just going to heal them one on one, just like we do in a healing camp. Now, this is something that we toyed around with for a while. And then we have now decided that we will do this healing camp online. Previously, we were like, how are we going to manage it and this and that? Why am I sharing this with you? Because, sometimes it's our own limitations that cause this. So in today's session, what we would like to do is to remove some of the obstacles that are preventing us from remodeling. Of course, some of it is laziness, not wanting to think through it. I think in session 8, we talked about detailed project planning. So in case there is something that you want to do, it's a good idea to break it up into steps. You may not be able to put dates on it right now because you may not know when you're going to launch this particular change, but it's a good idea to at least work out the steps. Sometimes the laziness to work those steps out is what causes the problem, right? So today's healing, the mass healing, is going to be focused on that. Again, those of us who are joining this later or watching this later on YouTube, in order to receive the healing, you actually need to join our live sessions, and the details are going to be given in the text below. But for those of us who are here, we are going to do healing. The second thing I'd like to focus on is on in terms of remodeling is also savings. If we don't have savings, then the desire to remodel is less also, because we may be a little afraid that, oh, how am I going to do this? If my current income gets even slightly compromised, then what will I do? And those worries start to happen. So there is a role of savings in this. If you want to grow, so you see, growth is sometimes in a plateau, which means there's up growth, and then it follows like a stable path, and then again it goes up, and then again it's stable, and then again it goes up. So this is called plateaued growth. And in my experience, most companies go through plateaued growth, which means the growth curve is not just going up like an airplane. Okay. It's like it goes up, it's flat for a while, then you think of new things, it goes up, then it goes flat for a while, goes up. Hopefully, it keeps going up. Okay. So it's the laziness factor. And then the savings actually help us to um, kind of like go through that time. If we don't have savings, then any change that we make in the business will really make us very nervous, right? So the idea is that having a certain amount of savings is important. One, to prevent nervousness. The second thing is also that sometimes if you, let's say if you want to renovate your home, you need some money to renovate your home, right? Some extra cash. So even to remodel the business, one needs some extra cash to help us remodel. If you want to put up a website, you need a certain amount of money. If you want to put up, if you are a website and you want to put up a brick and mortar store, then again, you need money. So there is the importance of savings. Okay. So to summarize, we are going to talk about, in the healing, we're going to take care of laziness. We're going to try and take care of procrastination. Be aware at the physical level of the role of savings. Also be aware that if you need help in terms of remodeling yourself personally, then you can invoke to Lord Shiva. And I don't know if you're familiar, but most religions have this trinity, the creator, the destroyer, and the preserver. So again, in Christianity, we have this. In Islam, we have this. It's known by different names. So you can look that up in your own religion. So as far as Master Shah is concerned, he told us that Allah al Wadud is God the preserver in the Islamic faith, Allah al Khaliq and Allah al Muqtadir. So again, you can invoke to the deity if you're religious. If you're not, that's okay. You can just pray to Mother Nature. Okay? And pray for strength. So let's raise our hands in blessing position. Let's be aware of the crown. Let's be aware of the heart. Keep your tongue connected to the palate as we do the blessings. So let's bless our business with remodeling. Let's bless the business with the ability to remodel. Let every person, every being involved with the business be willing to remodel, be willing to give up laziness and procrastination. May there be harmony, cooperation while these changes take place. Let's also be aware of our own limitations in doing this. So let's just be aware of what is it that we do, what is it that we need to change. And if you find something that you feel is preventing you from making changes, then just mentally erase that. And let's replace it with something that we think we want to be able to do and that we are going to do. So erase mentally something that you're doing that you don't want to and replace it with a visualization of yourself doing the right thing. Okay, let's bless our financial targets that we created on day one, session one. Let's bless our health targets. See, there are some ailments which are connected with anxiety and stress, right? So health is also affected by finances. So it's important to keep everything going in order. Let's bless our relationship targets, our relationship with our clients, with our family members. See, if we have support from friends and family, then we can do a lot more work more smoothly and enjoy everything. Let's also bless our spiritual target, which makes everything possible, which powers us, gives us hope, gives us love, power, and guidance. Let's bless the entire earth affected by the COVID-19 virus. May the Buddha Kuan Yin, with her divine, compassionate, purifying light, extract, externalize, and raise to higher vibrations all negativity related to the coronavirus. May the Lords of Karma help humanity learn its lesson. May every person, every being, including ourselves, learn the lesson that the COVID-19 virus is here to teach us. So this particular exam called the COVID-19 virus can be taken away. Inhale and exhale. Let's bless our projects, our home, our workplace. Bless anything else that you'd like to. And once you're done, gently open your eyes. So thank you everyone for joining our session. Today was the 9th session of prosperity, putting energy into your chakras, prosperity energy. And tomorrow will be the last session, 10 of 10 of prosperity healing. The videos are available on YouTube. But if you want to take the live healing, then you do need to join us in our live session, which is at 4 p.m. India Standard Time. Okay, that's it. For the next few days, actually, we are having it at 6 p.m., but otherwise it's at 4 p.m. India Standard. Okay, so with that, thank you so much. See you later. Bye.